When they send Marjorie Greene, they're not sending their best. She's the easiest person in America to fool. Even the right wing has started to fool her. There's this tweet that tricked her. Here's the original tweet. It's by Dr. Lyle P. Lysol, MD. That's your first hint. And it says, a Pfizer document reveals between 82 to 97% of pregnant women lost their babies. 45% of the 270 pregnant mothers reported adverse clinical events, and more than 60% of these were serious. Great work, Jesse Kelly, DC. Now look, the fact that the guy's name is Lyle P. Lysol, the fact that at least 82% of women lost their babies, but only 45% had adverse consequences. These are all reasons to be very cautious about just taking for granted that all of this is true, but she doesn't have the mental apparatus required to exercise critical thought. And so she retweeted it with this: why is this tweet labeled misleading, Twitter? Oh, that was the third clue, by the way. It was already labeled misleading. Pfizer should be investigated immediately. So should Twitter and any other social media app, media company, tech company, and anyone else who continues to manipulate and hide information about COVID vaccines. Remove the label, Twitter. Here's the thing. He is not a doctor. That's just, and look, it would be tough to find that out. You would have to do your research. For instance, if you were to click on his account, you would see that he has hashtag fake doctors alliance, professional fake doctor, pox denier, dad to two felines, not a doctor, me. All of those are amazing. His website is liar.com and his location is not a doctor's office. All of these are amazing reasons to be worried about him. There's a few other fun ones too, but notably, as of when we went live, it was still up. I don't just mean his tweet, her tweet was still up. It was immediately pointed out to her that this is fake, and she is just leaving her L up for all to see.
Because they don't care. But guys, let's break it down. Like really, it's amazing, isn't it? Because sometimes we'll see a story, it'll get pitched in a production meeting or whatever, and usually when Ann and I are hosting the show, and one of us will go, "Are you sure?" Let's double check that. And sometimes turns out we were overly skeptical, totally perfectly good story, triple check it, it's totally fine. But here's where I would have gone, are you sure when it was Dr. Lysol?
Maybe he invented it.
Yeah, I mean, that was before I'm not a doctor, I'm part of the fake doctor alliance, etc. At Lysol, he already lost me, I swear to Lysol, I'm gone, okay? But when he said, and this is, look, I've decided I don't want to call the right wing voters stupid, and it's in a lot of ways not fair because they really are manipulated by right wing media, and right wingers. So is most of the Democrats. They're manipulated by mainstream media that tells them a different set of lies. Okay, so I hear you guys. Okay, but I think I'm allowed to call Marjorie Taylor Greene stupid. I mean, she's a United States Congressperson. First sentence: Pfizer document reveals between 82 and 97% of pregnant women lost their babies. You don't think you would have heard that before? If 97% of pregnant women lost their babies, that tweet is the first time you would have heard about it?
Cenk, when the J&J thing, when we found out that like literally I think dozens of people had heart issues out of millions and millions of doses, it was a national scandal. And again, that already is enough to blow away all of their theories about this being some massive cover up. Like we did focus on perhaps too much on things that we thought might be issues. She thinks, no, she cracked it. Nobody realized for 2 years that this effectively ended every pregnancy that happened, but she discovered the truth in a tweet with no link, a tweet that's obviously false. There's gotta be at least a few conservatives that are watching this. Like I know everybody falls for something, at some point that was fake. I don't remember the last thing I did that was, but I'm sure there was something if you go back far enough. She's a sitting member of Congress, it's still there. Like she is physically incapable of thinking in a logical way, of realizing she's made a mistake, of knowing that a mistake is about to be made. You get that, right? You get that she is one of the dumbest people in the country. Maybe they don't. They're still supporting her, she's gonna be the Congresswoman again.
There's only one other possibility where she thinks, oh no, I knew it was BS all along. Of course, I mean, 97% of women lost their brain. It's absurd, right? No, but I think my voters are really dumb. And in fact, I'll leave it up. I bet they don't even notice. They still think I'm a hero that's calling out the truth. So those are your two options, because I mean, unless we've lost you, like you're on another planet or you're on meth or whatever, you realize this is not real, right? So she either, I can't believe she doesn't realize it's not real. I can't believe it. How could anyone be that unintelligent? How's that possible? But that's option number one. Option number two is, oh, she knows and she thinks my voters are so stupid they won't even notice.
I think there are many who would do that. But I think she thinks it's true.
I think she thinks it's true.
I think she is actually the dumb. Like I think it's Louis Gohmert level. Like actually among the dumbest people you'll have ever encountered. And to really make that clear, we've already given you so many things that would have been a great warning that this wasn't true. Let's give you just a couple more. If you had gone to his account and then not looked at any of the details on his profile, you might have seen one of his recent tweets was, "Today I tested positive for monkeypox 19. That's not even what it's called. Although my symptoms are mild, I will be self-isolation for the next 14 days and will eat lots of bananas and swing from trees. I am grateful that I am vaccinated and boosted 13 times, as I urge you all to get vaccinated for the monkeypox 19. And you might, it's clipped at the bottom, but there's an emoji of a monkey. That wasn't enough to clue her in. I'm gonna jump to the last graphic because here's one thing that maybe only people of a certain type of terminal onlineness might have noticed. The one other detail in Lysol's account, and it's the profile picture, because if you go to it, that is a photoshopped image of American pornography. I'm being told this, that's Johnny Sins, I think he's called. I don't know who that is, but clearly they've just photoshopped a wig on top of Johnny Sins.
Okay. Okay, so what am I gonna do with these guys? What am I gonna do with them? So, by the way, it's a random addition to the story. I once ran into Louis Gohmert at an airport now, and so now we use Louis as an example because among the thousands of insane, crazy things he said, like that you shouldn't cast aspersions on his asparagus, still no one knows what that means. But my favorite was that he said Obama was reconstituting the Ottoman Empire. And the Ottoman Empire still hasn't come around. I don't know if Obama's gonna wait for another 10 or 20 years and they go, supplies, here's the Ottoman Empire. Okay, but that is that level of stupid, right? Whereas if this was Tucker Carlson, he ain't stupid. If Tucker Carlson had retweeted this and said, oh, Twitter's lying to you, etc., then I would say, oh wow, he really thinks his audience is not bright.
That's definitely true. Yeah, I think his intelligence is overstated too. He's not nearly as dumb as Marjorie Greene. And there's every reason to believe that he's going to find a way to take this, the criticism of her, and make a monologue out of it. And somehow make it that there's something wrong with the left or liberals or something. And he'll do a monologue on it, and then he'll be joined by Glenn Greenwald.